My name is Corroon Skakel. I'm a Brooklyn-based installation artist and printmaker. I grew up in Connecticut and went to high school in Rhode Island, college in Vermont, spent a few years in New Orleans, and then I made my way back north. I work with fiber arts. I make large scale installations made intuitively with fabric that combine traditional craft, architecture, and explore concepts of what the home is and how we can show care and affection through the types of labor that we can put into objects. So I usually start a new series by getting really excited about one particular method of making. For example, I'm working on hand woven objects currently. And then within that, I usually start to picture them in my mind outside of their initial context. So if you can imagine a rug, then I might imagine that in the shape of a fence or a building or some other larger scale object, some sort of shelter. And then I imagine how I can morph my practice, my making method into that object. So like I said, I'm working on woven objects, currently digitizing them and exploring, blowing them up into full scale public art and building style pieces. So my background is in working with metal and wood and concrete, using that to make furniture, and then that practice grew into assisting with artists. But working with those kinds of hard materials, I was always in really exclusively male environments, and I never felt entirely at ease. So I started gravitating towards processes that allowed me to work intuitively, because that's quite difficult to do when you are measuring something to a 32nd of an inch with wood or metal, for example. And I didn't want to have to adhere to that type of rigidity. And I wanted to be able to build something of my own without having to constantly be checking my work. And I wanted to have that intuition-based process. So I found that with fiber arts, and I was able to find a community that was a bit more like-minded. And to me, there was something so comforting about this material. This material was never going to hurt you. It was a way that you could repair clothing, a way that you could get warmth through blanket, make a house a home with a rug, for example. And I felt much more free to explore these different ways of doing it than with the confines that I felt with these harder, more rigid materials. But using a soft material in an architectural environment means that I can explore the combination of those things and sort of understand why these are put into a binary and actually create spaces that fall less into a binary and challenge that notion of like hard versus soft or cold versus warm.